Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joseph Novichko, Senior Trading Manager with GDM. Today's session outlook. Let's remind ourselves what happened through yesterday. It's a very important day today as well on the fundamental side of the market. The dollar also rose to its highest in more than a week after it slumped to 4.5-month low. Of course, that was on robust US inflation outlook. And of course, European interest rates and investors saw the sell-off of the followed US President Donald Trump healthcare setback that is overdone. Now, also we're looking at an event yesterday, the dollar that also got a boost from Chicago Fed President Charles Evans in his speech. He actually said that he was in line with most of his colleagues in supporting further rate hikes this year. However, as we know, that Fed Chair Yellen is also speaking within a few weeks throughout April, so we can see what she thinks about the next date of the interest rate hike. Charles Evans is also known as one of the Fed's most consistent followers of the low interest rates. So we can see that if he's supporting such a case for a rate rise, that would mean that the economy is pretty well doing for now. Of course, we're looking at today very important data out of the European Union. We're looking at the consumer confidence. We're looking also at the service sentiment, also business climate, industrial confidence as well. Out of the US, we're looking at a weekly job data, continuous and initial jobless claims. Also, we're looking at a high volatility around the same time. That's in about 4.5 hours from now. Gross domestic product out of the United States. That's the fourth quarter. Also, we're looking at the personal consumption expenditures. This is also a very important inflationary data that the Federal Reserve will be looking at. Also, a lot of speeches out of the FOMC also today. Throughout the Asian session, however, later today, we're going to be expecting some data out of Japan, looking at the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, unemployment rate, overall household spending, industrial production, and furthermore data out of Japan. This will be, of course, very important for the Japanese yen. However, for now, let's have a look at the charts here and see what the markets are doing at this stage. Thursday morning, we're looking at a downward direction on the euro versus the dollar. That's mostly on the strengthening US dollar, ladies and gentlemen. And further downside could be expected towards the next support level at 1.07. 0.710 or 0.7, that's pretty irrelevant whether it's 10 pips up or down. However, should we start looking for a short positions, the target would be simply around 1.072. Also, the next one would be at 0.680. Let's have a look at the British pound. So right now we're looking at a confirmation on the euro versus the dollar. British pound is also lower against the dollar at 1.2420. The early downward direction on British pound versus the dollar actually brought it throughout the Asian session below the 200 exponential and a confirmation of it. So we're also looking at a downside towards 123.55. Also, next one is at 123. Those are the support areas. Dollar yen, however, as I mentioned, ahead of a key US data. We're looking at a firmly sideways direction right now. Gold is also looking at the sidelines at the moment, firmly supported above the 1248 support level, and of course 1245, which is the 200 exponential at this stage. Oil prices are up. And we know that yesterday we got an information from the Energy Information Administration about the crude oil stockpiles. They actually declined to roughly around 500,000 build. from 1.8 million of a suggested build against roughly 5 million in the previous. Of course, the $50 level, ladies and gentlemen, is looking at a strong resistance area. But of course, if we have in the next final of the next week, we have some good news out of the OPEC about the production cut. And of course, if again, we're looking at a continuous output from Libya after the armed protesters have decreased the output for the past few days. We're also looking at another downward direction for oil prices. So right now, looking at a sideways direction, further upside only above $50 area, and of course, confirmation out of the OPEC and Libya for production cuts. That's all from the most important of today. I'm going to talk to you again tomorrow with more insights of the market of today. And of course, please like or subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.